Y'all, it was a crazy morning. I don't know how that fish got off. It was actually taking drag. So I looked over into the rod cast out to the left, and there was a subtle bite. Figured it was a flathead, and sure enough, this guy picked up a perfect size shad, probably about 6 to 8 inches long, and I really wanted to get that back because I wanted to cut it up since it had been killed. Anyway, if you look over to my right, on the right side, the rod's going off over there. It was just a lot of action really quickly. And good morning, perfect weather, perfect current. Everything about this morning was perfect, but you'll see that my morning gets progressively worse here in a bit. So I'm not going to say it was a bad morning. It was fishing, right? So everybody enjoys fishing, but oh, it just was a headache. Y'all just stay tuned. You'll see.
Well, I had one pulling drag and 2 other poles that went down while I was messing with that. That flathead knocked my bait off, and it was a big bait, so I was going to pull it back in and make some cut bait out of it, but it didn't work. Fish number 1, channel cat. Well, technically fish number 2. Flathead came in the boat first. Mr. Man. I believe this fish had my bait for a long time. That one going in the grease, y'all. That is the best eating out here, bar none. Anybody else like to eat flathead? That's a good fish. These lines crossed because this one on the end is flat line, and I'm trying to get it out as far as I can. That way when I catch a fish, it's going to cross lines up, but that's just going to be a mess I'll have to deal with then.
Oh, I really wished I wouldn't have said that. There's about to be a mess. I'll deal with it then. I was right. Man, it's so rude when folks don't wave back. Hey, watch that rod! Boy, it's rude when people don't wave back. Ooh! Watch that rod, watch that rod. So this striper picked up my flat line, and he swam way to the right really quickly. About that same time, another fish hooks up, so I double up, and both of those fish start swimming around in circles with each other. He's gonna go back over to the left. He's gonna catch a rod or 2 over there. And I'm here to tell you what, it kicked my butt, took my lunch money. So I said something earlier about I'll deal with the mess then, and man, that mess is happening right now. But hey, that's fishing, you know.
Oh man, that 10-pound striper just about took my lunch money, folks. It's a good fish, but I don't know if it's worth the trouble we just had there. I'll take those kind of messes. All right, bud. Good times, thanks. These fish are camera shy. There's white rod right here on the left. Pro tip. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. Wait for that rod to bend over. Maybe even start taking drag. Do not go up there and reel down on those fish thinking you're gonna catch it. Let it go down. Pro tip. All right, y'all. I'm gonna show you my setup real quick today for these beautiful eagle back there. I doubt you can see that. There's an eagle back there picking up probably some of my bait. I use a 6/0 Gamakatsu circle hook for these small thread fin. It's probably a little bit on the big size, but super easy snail knot. So you go in from the front, lay your tag line down along the shank, wrap it around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your leader, tag into your leader, and you go back in through the back side, so opposite of the way you came in. Pull it tight, wet it, pull it tight, and then that's called a no knot snail knot. Super easy. I've never had one of those come undone. It gives this hook sort of a trigger effect, so it's already there, so when that thing rolls out of that fish's mouth, it picks it up. Come down about maybe 3 feet, 30 inches or so. Take a little barrel swivel. Take a barrel swivel, and I like to tie Palomar knots, so I go from the bottom up. You start at your hook and you work your way back towards the rod, and you'll be able to tie Palomar knots all the way up. So just double it up. Everybody knows how to tie a Palomar knot. That's the easiest one. Double it up, overhand knot, go back through, pull it tight. Your line to your rod. I've been running 1.5 ounce egg sinkers. I wish that I had the no roll sinkers. These egg sinkers will roll down the hills into the bottom, which is fine, but egg sinker first, or sinker, whatever size you need, down to your little bead. So you got sinker, then bead. Take your line and one more Palomar knot. Double it up, go through, and like I said, if you start at your hook, tie your snail first and then work your way backwards to the rod, you will be able to run Palomar knots all the way down. Palomar knot to me is one of the strongest, well, it has been proven to be the strongest knot, so that's what I roll with. And pull it tight, take your tag in, cut it off. My leader material is 50 pounds. My main line is a 30-pound mono. I like the high vis. This particular rod is the moss colored P-line, Klein P-line, whatever. And there you go. Sinker, leader, hook. Throw out the small one, keep the big one. You can hook these thread fin a number of different ways, but the way that I have found that keeps them alive the longest is to run it right across the back, right across the top of that dot they've got on their back. Biggest guy. Just give him a fling. Thrown over into probably 5 or 6 foot of water, and this drops off into the main channel. Over here is a flat where there's stumps and sticks and all sorts of things that are going to get you hung up, but that's it. Keep your lines tight. I just had a fish pull 4 lines across and get me all tangled up, so I get to re-rig 4 lines this morning, which is fine because they all needed to be re-rigged anyway. But anyway, that's the Easy Carolina rig. I'll show you a Santee Cooper rig next. Well, that was perfect timing right there. Oh, I was just talking about all these sticks and logs and stuff, and this one hung me up in one. him a little bit of slack, see if he can work his way out. What I was about to show you is, in amongst all that rigmarole, I had just put line on that spool, and I like to keep my spools full. Honestly, these lines hold way too much. I think this thing holds, for a 30 pound, it probably holds 200 yards of mono. But anyway, so now I get to show you how to do a double uni knot. I just had to put some of this line. So you got one line going this way, another line going this way. Pull about, I don't know, 10 or 12 inches across each other. You loop it, and then you just wrap it around about 4 or 5 times back through that hole. 2, 3, 4. Don't pull it too tight, but wet it, pull it kind of tight. Flip it around and do the same thing the opposite way. And you'll have 2 clinch knots that will pull against each other. 2, 3, 4. Pull it kind of tight, and now you'll pull against the 2 main lines. Take off 4 lines and kind of pull them, and it'll tighten up. And there we go. That's what it looks like. Cut your tag ends close. I wonder if that fish has worked his way out yet. And then when you're done, that's what you got. All right. And I'm gonna put the remainder of this line back on. When you keep your reels full, they'll cast a lot better. You'll bird nest it if you're not careful, but they will definitely cast a lot better. So just take this thing. All right. And now that you're done, just a little bit of that brass showing right there. I doubt it's brass. But these Cast King round rover, man, these are some, for the money, these are good reels. You watch them, they'll go on sale for about 40 bucks. Pick one up. Hey, let's see if this thing's on. Nope. He's probably on, but he is definitely hung up. So we get to re-reel not 1, 2, 3, not 4, but 5 reels today. Yay. Oh yeah, Santa Cooper. Same deal. With my Santee Coopers, I like to put on a little bit bigger bait. So I will go with a little bit bigger hook. These are my Gamakatsu 8-aught. These Gamakatsu hooks, I don't like the curved neck, I like the straight shank. These Gamakatsu 8-aughts, they've got a bit wider of a gap. I wish they made a 9-aught, but I've not found them. They probably do, I've not seen them, but I get the value pack, the 25 pack 8-aught circle hook. And again, 50 pound, just whatever, 50 pound. This is trilene, big game. Go about 3 feet. Simple snail knot. This is the no knot snail. Put it through the front of the hook. Lay your tag end down the shank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to go back the opposite direction through the back of the hook. Pull it tight. You got to keep it all kind of in line. Wet it a little bit, and I will pull, I don't know, decently hard. And there you go. Already got one that didn't get quite cut off, so there's your snail knot to your 8-aught hook. Leader line about 6 inches long or so, maybe 5 inches, down to my Zazara spook float. I will tie another leader line here. I didn't realize I had one pre-tied, so I'm going to take what I just did and just gonna fast forward this one. Start at your hook and go backwards. You can tie Palomar knots all the way up. I like a Palomar knot. All right. Pretty decent looking Palomar knot. All right, so I'm gonna be a little bit shorter on this one. I like these to be about that long, but by the time I tie the knot in my swivel, it's gonna be shorter. That's okay. Santee Cooper rigs. I've got a sinker slide, and this one actually is made where you can take it on and off of the line if you wanted to, which is awesome. Slide it on there. Don't forget your bead, and that bead is a knot protector down to your barrel swivel. And there's a big fish busting on the surface back here, and I got all my baits down on the bottom. That striper that I caught was on a flatliner, so he was probably just a few feet under the surface when that fish hit. I need to get another one out there ASAP. All right, there we go. So let me cut my tag end off. Main line, 30-pound leader, sinker slide, bead, barrel swivel, float, hook. On these, I probably could get away with 3 ounces, but sometimes the current kicks up. So I've got 5-ounce coin sinkers, disc sinkers, whatever you want to call them. Piece of bait. Let's throw it out there with all that structure. And when you throw these out, you've got to watch it. You've got to watch it in the air and make sure that it hits flat, because if it piles up and hits on top of itself and it just bundles up, it doesn't look right. The presentation is not going to attract the fish. Matter of fact, it's going to keep the fish from biting. So if it piles up on top of itself, you'll realize it when you reel it in, and it's all just tangled up. So, all right, 4 more to go. Bait. Well, no, that's a largemouth. Never mind. Not bait. Not bait. Go grow. Thought we had some bait.